Da-da-da-da-da! Give me a 9! Give me a 9! Give me an O! What's that spell? 990! 990 chapters of One Piece, ladies and gentlemen! We're almost there, Barry! Only 9 more chapters to go after this one, and Chapter 1000! Pelvic Thrust all the day! Yeah! Now, what's Chapter 1000 gonna be about? I don't know. Maybe Oda doesn't have anything big planned. Maybe he's just like, you know what? It's just gonna be an ordinary chapter, guys. Oh my god, Oda could totally troll us for that. He really could. Be like, chapter 999 could be like the chapter where all the Straw Hats and all the Scabbards finally like rush toward Kaido. Like, remember the opening theme to Shaolin Showdown, where at the end of the freaking opening title sequence of Shaolin Showdown, it was all the monks and like, and they're like charging at each other, and boom. That could be chapter 999 with Kaido and the Calamities and all the freaking Tobiropo and any of the gifters that aren't dead yet. And then on the other side, it's the Scabbards and the Straw Hats finally just charging at each other. And then chapter 1000, Oda just goes back to, like, show us what's going on in Syrup Village, like, with the Usopp Pirates and Kaya, and then we cut over to Drum Island to see how, like, the Loppins are doing, you know? Like, that's chapter 1000. Like, thanks, guys. Thanks for reading my story. It's great. I mean, he only gets really one opportunity to do that, so I wouldn't begrudge him if he did. But anyway, that's still 9 chapters out. We'll wait to see where we go with that. I hope we get to chapter 1000 by the end of this year. It's gonna be little tight. I don't know if we're gonna make it. It really depends on how many breaks we get, but it's possible. It's still feasible. I think we could get to 1000 chapters by the end of the year. But if we did, it would be like barely. It would be like one of the last chapters of December. But anyway, today's chapter review is going to be chapter 990, titled A Lone Force. There's other translations, though, like the official translation of it is Army of One, which is an Army of One, like Lightning's ultimate attack that she does in like Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, I think that's what that was called. Anyway, we continue with the cover page. And yes, finally Lola and Chiffon get kind of an inkling that the person chasing after them might very well be their father. And the only way that they kind of like realize this is they kind of think to themselves, wait a second, whenever we asked Big Mom about our dad, she always said, oh, he was just some really clingy guy that would never go away no matter how many times I kicked him. Which could probably apply to maybe a lot of the fathers of the kids of Totland. Like, you don't know, like, Pound might have been the only one that actually tried to stay on the island. The other ones might have just been, like, literally kicked off by Big Mom, and they'd be like, well, whatever, and then they just left. Maybe they realized, like, there's no point in trying to go up against one of the Yonko, she's too strong, and they literally got forcefully kicked off the island. But Pound, no matter how many times Big Mom kicked him out, or, sent the Sweet Commanders or her other children after Pound, he just wouldn't leave the island. And so he's like, I'm not leaving, but I can't really oppose her. I'm not strong enough for that. So I'm just literally going to go out into the seducing woods and then... What? I don't get the burying himself up to his freaking head. I never got that. It's just like, dude, Pound, okay, you could just like live out in the mountains of Whole Cake Island and live off of the I don't know, the whipped cream, flowers that grow there and eat like the candied apples off the trees as sustenance. I don't know. I don't get the burying yourself up to a head. I don't know how that works, but okay. Anywho, Lola and Chiffon, they throw a rope to Pound to catch him. Beiji's in the background looking kind of mad. He's just like, I don't know how I feel about this. But Pez is in the background like, yay! Like, Pez is on top of Beiji's shoulders like, yay, Grandpa! So we'll see where this goes. And Gotti is helping out as well. Gotti's also helping out with the rope because him and Lola are probably going to get married. All right. So we continue onward. We cut over actually on Sasaki's side of things. So remember, we have Muffin Mountain in the center. Off to the one side of Muffin Mountain, the eastern side, that's where Kinemon's forces were going, and that's where Black Maria's brothel was. But on the other side, the southern side of Muffin Mountain, that's where Sasaki's fortress was. So the Tobiropo had like additions, renovations added on to the plaza of Onigashima since the time of Odin. Okay, so the Black Maria's brothel is one, and Sasaki had a fortress. I'm sure Who's Who and some of the other Tobiropo have their like little palaces as well. But anyway, Denjiro was the one that went up against Sasaki, and it actually worked out in their favor because Denjiro and Sasaki used to be old drinking buddies back when Denjiro was going as Kyoshiro, okay? I can imagine Sasaki would come to the... I think he's one of the older Tobiroppo. He's been kind of one of the members of the group for a while now. So I could see Sasaki, you know, go into the capital just hanging out with, you know, Kyoshiro and be like, man, you're a cool guy, Kyoshiro. Boss of the Yakuza, awesome pompadour. Hey, let's drink some sake. Yeah, buddy, let's do it. You know, so that's how they always used to do it. They were drinking pals. So that's how Denjiro was able to, like, double-cross Sasaki, take him by surprise, and chained him to that giant tree. Well, remember the Ikoku sovereignty, the Big Mom, like, spear, Elbaf spear she used a few chapters ago, that just, boom, blasted a hole through the festival hall, blasted a hole through Muffin Mountain, and just, like, scorched Onigashima before sending out to sea? Yeah, that actually completely ripped, well, not the entire tree out of the ground, but, like, the trunk of the tree is all that remains, and the damage was enough that it, like, released Sasaki of his chains, of his bindings, so he was able to get off. He was able to get, maybe he did, I don't know, he's sitting there and he's just like, man, I can't get out of this damn, whoa! Well, that was, oh, okay, that, well, whatever, alright, I don't know how that worked, but I'm free now, so he got freed, Sasaki's free, and he mentions that it was the sacred tree. Now, I don't know if this is going to come back at any point. You know, Onigashima is a land, you know, with a giant skull on it from an ancient giant, so probably a lot of things with that island are considered sacred. You know, here's an idea. Before Kaido arrived on the island, obviously Onigashima was still there. It's not like Kaido built the giant skull mountain, right? So, you know, Onigashima had been there for hundreds of years. The people of Wano probably considered that like maybe like not a sacred place in that it's like holy, like, oh, our god lives there, but like kind of like a forbidden place where you don't go, where you kind of give reverence to like the great deity that was like the giant devil that would like stomp around Wano back in the day. You know, that's where the bones of that thing are. So they probably treated it like kind of like a forbidden site. And so I can imagine that there would be like sacred trees around it. So whatever. Anyway, Big Mom just completely obliterated the damn thing. So what are you gonna do? Sasaki gets out and he's saying to his men are like, oh my god, Master Sasaki, we're glad that you were able to get freed, you know, we didn't think that you were gonna be, you know, tied up to a tree. And he's like, yeah, Denjiro, turns out he's actually working, well, Kyoshiro, whatever you want to call him, he's working for the Scabbards now. You know, I really don't give a crap about the history of Wano, I don't care about Odin, I don't care about his Scabbards or prophecies, but you double-cross me, like Sasaki's more pissed that, you know, Kyoshiro used to be his drinking buddy and then they went back, he, you know, double-crossed him. That's the thing Sasaki's more pissed about. He doesn't care that he's one of Odin's vassals or anything. That's more of like, that was more of like Orochi's thing, you know? So he just takes a big swig of sake and he's like, you know, you don't double-cross me and live to tell about it. I'm gonna kick his ass next time I see him, right? So Sasaki's kind of like, you know, he's drinking, but then he looks up to the top of Muffin Mountain and he sees like just this like electrical like light show going on at the top, and he hears all this like fighting going on, and he's like, hey, by the way, what's all the noise happening up there? And they're like, oh, yeah, that. Not really sure how to explain that. Master Kaido's up there fighting, but there's a lot of other stuff going on too. You know, so now we cut over to the top of Onigashima, and there's really not a lot of dialogue here. We just see Kaido lording over the entire battlefield, still in full dragon mode, just kind of like watching everything unfold. The Scabbards are really not doing anything. I thought the fights between like Minx and Jack's forces were going to be happening concurrently. Like Jack goes to fight against the Minx, they all go Sulong. Meanwhile, the Scabbards jump at Kaido. That's not what's happening. All of the Scabbards are just kind of off to the side, kind of just like watching a bunch of electrified animals beat the crap out of a bunch of dinosaurs. You know, and like one of the numbers is there, number 7, Nangi, he's there, and the gifters are there, and Jack is there as a freaking huge mammoth. I guess there aren't any dinosaurs up there, they're all gifters, and like Jack is a mammoth. So yeah, they're just watching this unfold, like, you know, and it's like the expression on their faces, like they're really serious, but you can imagine like this is something that they never even thought they would be able to witness, right? Like, it's like, especially for like Kinemon and Raizo, but also even more so for like Denjiro that have waited like 20 years. Like, we've waited 20 years for this chance to fight against Kaido and avenge our master Kozuki Odin. And now we're just sitting here, standing on top of a giant skull Muffin Mountain, watching a bunch of animals just claw the shit out of each other. You know, like electricity's firing off like Sith lightning, and I'm like, okay, alright. So I really don't know how you could respond to that. Now Jack looks a little worse for wear here. He looks like he's bleeding quite a bit. He's got swords and spears sticking out of him. I mean, Jack's a big guy. He's stomping around. He's the drought. That's what he does. But it also kind of makes him a bigger target, the fact he's like a huge mammoth stomping through the battlefield. So some of the minks get defeated. Like, it's complete. It's a massacre. And not really a massacre on one side or the other. It's just both sides are getting dropped. You know, like Jack knocks back freaking BB, and I think Giovanni gets knocked back too. But also a lot of the gifters are getting knocked down. Nangi's like teetering. He's like, ugh! You know, so it's just a lot of freaking nonsense going on. One of the minks lands in front of Kinemon, so Kinemon's just kind of watching the fight. Then a mink just lands right next to him, and he's just like, ah! And Kinemon's like, all right, I think it's probably time that we step in. It's probably time. I mean, it's the minks that said, you know, don't worry, leave it to us. We'll take care of them. You guys go fight Kaido, which I don't know why you're not doing that right now, but okay. I mean, it's an interesting fight to watch. So Kinemon kind of reaches down for his swords to kind of fight and help them, when all of a sudden Neko and Inu show up behind Kinemon, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it, Keen. Leave it to us. And then we see Neko and Inu kind of in their Sulongs. We only see it in silhouette. Of course, Neko is just this huge poofy kitty cat, and Inu is like a wolf. You can tell even from the silhouette, he's going to be like a giant wolf. Okay, so that's going to be really cool. But we only see the silhouettes for right now. I'm assuming they just activated their Sulongs because we didn't see it a little bit earlier. So they just activated their Sulongs, and they're about to jump into the fray. Once again, I get it. You know, these are their men. You know, these are the minks of Zou. They're the dukes and the kings, the rulers of Zou. I get why they're going to go help. But, like, the whole premise for this was like, hey, Neko, Inu, you guys are parts of the scabbards. Leave the rest to us. And it's like, I don't really know if the fight, it's so much chaos, I couldn't even really tell if the fight is in one favor or the other, but it looks like both sides are taking casualties, but it also looks like Jack is being beat back. I mean, Jack is probably going to be the biggest, you know, like, a threat here, maybe Nangi, because he's one of the numbers, he's this huge oar-sized looking dude, but still, it's like, I don't know, I felt like, you know, you guys should be fighting against Kaido right now, and Neko and Inu taking the time to go Sulong against Jack, that's just going to diminish the Scabbard's forces. Unless they can take out Jack really quick, you know, because Jack's been softened up a little bit. Just hurry up, Sulong, just, you know, just like cut him down, and then you could go and fight Kaido. That's what my idea would be here. But anyway, yeah, Neko and Inu are going to begin charging against Jack, and Jack is kind of looking like, oh, this ain't good. And then Neko and Inu just like freaking just like go Super Saiyan and just like speed right for Jack. And that's all we get there. So we cut away from the top of the roof there. That's all we got. So yeah, I guess Neko and Inu, I try to make this as quick as possible. Like, Neko, do the freaking like suplex thing. Like, grab Jack's trunk and like flip him over and just slam him into the ground with Electro. And then Inu, just jump on his freaking neck and just like Electro up your teeth and just go to town, right? And get that done as quickly as possible, because yeah, you guys might be older and you might have more, you know, training with your Sulong and everything, but it won't last forever. Even with, you know, Nekomamushi and Inu Arashi, they might be able to last in Sulong a little bit longer than the rest of the minks, but it's not like we could stay like this all night. So make this quick and then hurry up and you guys could go fight against Kaido, right? Alright, so now we cut back down to the Golden Kagura Festival Hall. Queen is still on the balcony, same place he was last chapter when he turned into a Brachiosaur. He bit Zoro and Luffy and like spit them out back on the ground. King arrives there, and King's just like, he's like, yeah, you know, don't worry about it, Queen. You suck at everything, so I expected you to fail. You know, I love that. And Queen's just like, well, you could have just stopped after the first sentence, but whatever, douchebag. Okay. So they're having their little back and forth. Queen, okay, this is the part where I start to think, like, Oda might find this very funny, like a running gag or something. We see the little bubble with Baba Nuki again. This is like the third or fourth time this has happened, where Queen is just like, hey, I see Hyogoro down there. That cinches it. You know, every single one of these samurai come from freaking Udon. That means that something must have happened to Baba Nuki over there. Wonder what they did to him. Did they torture him or something? Like, either Queen just has some short-term memory problem, or he's like really, really attached to Baba Nuki in some way, because it's like, dude, they overthrew your prison, they freed all the prisoners. Like, this is not something hard to understand, and yet he keeps bringing it up. He's just like, what the hell? What happened with all these samurai? What's going on over at the prison? Babanuki said to me everything was cool. What happened? I don't get it. Why didn't he say anything? Why did he say everything was cool when it wasn't? How come these samurais are here? What's happening at the prison? There was a prison break! Dude! I love you, Queen, but damn, this is like the third, fourth time you've brought this up. Like, man, something must be going on at the prison. No shit! Sherlock, okay? Like, just, you understand, there was this is how this conversation should have went. This is how the thought process should have went in Queen's head. 5,000 samurai are invading Onigashima. Oh, Straw Hat must have led a prison break. All right, well, I'll have to deal with that later, but for right now, let's deal with this. Seems very, maybe he was very attached to Babanuki. Maybe him and Babanuki were like childhood friends. Maybe he really cares about the dude, and he's just like, if I find out they did anything to Babanuki, I hope he's okay. He's my best friend. He had an elephant on his stomach. It was adorable, you know. So maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so King's just like, okay, whatever, you're useless. He takes out a Den Den Mushi, or one of the Smails, and I think this is just a regular Den Den Mushi. Takes that out, and he's like, okay, listen up, Tobiropo. Here's the deal. 5,000 samurai have invaded Onigashima. This is probably the single worst failure that we've ever witnessed. The little infighting competition that we've had is off, so even if you do capture Master Yamato at this point, you will not earn the right to fight against us, the Calamities. We have to focus all of our power in not infighting, but dealing with the enemies right now. Kaido is up on the roof. He is fighting the Scabbards. They're going to try to get up there to aid him. You will stop them by any means necessary. Everybody mobilize and just, you know, get on the ball here. So I kind of like King. I mean, we're going to probably find out some more weird stuff about King, like just the fact he's wearing a full body leather gimp suit. That's probably some stuff about King that we don't really want to know about, but Oda's going to tell us anyway. So yeah, but King, he's taking charge because he's essentially number 2 because Kaido's up there on the roof and Yamato switched sides. So, you know, King is like, all right, I'm the one that's going to have to issue out orders here. So he notifies all the Tobiropo. We now cut over to, I guess it's just X-Drake's room, you know, because each of the Tobiropo have their little quarters. So X-Drake is there, or Diaz Drake, however you want to call him. I've been calling him X-Drake for years. I'm just going to keep calling him that. Plus, there's a scene at the end of the chapter, which we'll get to. It's really cool. Anyway, so Drake is there with Hawkins, and this is the first time we've seen Hawkins in a while. I guess this means Hawkins was not the one with Law, the guy with long hair that we saw a few chapters ago, but Hawkins is still in Onigashima, and he's there, and he's doing his little tarot readings. He's still beaten up, you know, he's bandaged up from when Law, you know, defeated him, and he escaped the prison and everything there. So Drake is like, you know, the Den Den Mushi's there, and it's ringing. That's like King's message to all the Tobiropo, but he's not answering it yet. Instead, he's trying to tell Hawkins to basically join him in rebelling. He's just like, hey, listen, man, it's not like you joined this crew by choice. You know, you were forced into joining the crew by Kaido. You know, you should rebel. You should join the other side and let's fight together and let's like cause as much chaos as possible. This is the perfect moment for this. So Hawkins is kind of listening, but not really. Actually, he's doing a tarot reading and he's just kind of like, oh, what? Oh, yeah, you know, help you cause chaos, you know, I guess. I don't know. Not really into that. But 1% chance. 1%. And Drake is like, 1%, what does that represent? What does that mean? And he's like, the survival of a certain man come tomorrow. Okay, and that's all we get there. So Hawkins is doing his tarot thing, and he's like, there is a 1% chance that a certain person, I think he does say certain man, or that man. If you read One Punch Man, the webcomic recently, that man was the strongest ninja that ever lived. That man lived 500 years. That man, and now he's, okay, well, man. But no, that's what I thought of. Anyway, so, who is that man? Now, I think of 3 possibilities here. First thought was immediately Luffy. That was just the first thing that came to my mind because remember Hawkins did a similar reading for Luffy when they first arrived at Wano, where they were fighting against the headliners. Hawkins was there, and he was like, you know, there is a, I can't remember, I think there might have been like a 0% chance that you'd be alive a month from now or something, like a very, very low chance that Luffy would be alive in a month from now. And so that was like the first reading that Hawkins did with his tarot cards. Like, this fight with Kaido is going to be extremely intense. You have a very high probability of dying. So, could be Luffy, in which case his odds of going up, I mean, he at least has... Oh, it was just Chopper, okay. I was like, is it Jinbei or Robin again? But no, it's just Chopper, we're good. So, I mean, it's not a great probability, but it's Luffy we're talking about here. He always bends the odds in his favor. He's got the will of D, he's got driving determination, and that's kind of like a shonen trope. Like, the main character only has a 1% chance of victory. Oh wait, he's still the main character, right? So that's the first thing I thought of. But But I backed up a bit here and started thinking about some other possibilities on the table. Option number 2. What if Hawkins is talking about Kaido? Kaido, 1% chance of surviving till the next day, which means that Kaido might very well die today because of the scabbards. That's another possibility. And the third possibility that I thought of, and it will make sense more at the end of the chapter, and I will hold off on it until then, because I want to bring this up when another revelation occurs. But, you know, I think there's a reason why Hawkins did not specify, he didn't say the name. He just said that person. Hawkins's fortune telling, he has the name of the person. He definitely does. He's just not telling Drake. So there's probably a reason for that I'll get to. And Drake is just kind of like, 1% chance for surviving? Wouldn't want to be that guy. And then he finally answers the Den Den Mushi. He's like, man, sucks to be that guy. Click. And then he hears the whole, story of the king relaying the message to the Toby Roppo, like, let's all pull our energy and fight against the rebellion here. Ulti hears it. There's a little brief moment with Ulti and Page 1. They get reunited, and Ulti's just like, what? That sucks! We were gonna have a battle together! And then freaking Page 1 shows up. He's like, hey sis, we gotta fight the rebellion. And Ulti's like, oh, Pei, oh my god, you're gonna give me a freaking piggyback ride, right? You're the best big brother ever. And he's like, no, I'm not, but we gotta fight. And King's like, yeah, knock off all that chatter, you morons. We gotta focus, okay? I'm like, alright, sorry. So, that's just a little moment with them there. And then King just relays the whole thing, like Kaido's on the roof, make sure nobody gets up there. Okay. Now we cut over. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this for so damn long. All right. Come on, Matt. It's time for your time to shine. Here we go. All right. Who's Who goes over to Drake's and Hawkins' room to see who he's going to talk to about who he's going to kill. This is Who's Who. Every moment involving this character is going to be a tongue twister, and it's not going to make any damn sense. But I love that, alright? So Who's Who goes and knocks on Drake's door, and Drake asks, who is it? No, he doesn't, but okay. So he just like knocks, the door's open. There's not even a door. He just knocks in the door frame, and he's just like, hey Drake, what's up, man? And Drake's like, oh, hey, Who's Who, what's up? Yeah, not much. Anyway, there's a lot of chaos going on out here right now. I'm giving him kind of like a California surfer dude kind of accent. I don't know why I'm doing that, but we're just gonna go with it. Yeah, bro. Anyway, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go and defeat someone. I'm gonna go kill somebody that I've been wanting to take out for a while. There's opportunity here. I think that you can help me out with. It might be a little bit too much to deal with on my own. So you want to help me out, man? Yeah, Hawkins, you come too, bro. I don't care. And so they're like, oh, well, who are you going after right now? And he's like, oh, it's gonna be Queen, dude. It's gonna be Queen. Oh man, I hate that dude. He thinks he's so damn funky. I'll show him who's funky tonight. That came out wrong, dude. But anyway, yeah, so Hawkins is like, he seems kind of like on the fence, because Hawkins might very well know what's going to happen anyway, because he can kind of read the future. But Drake is like, this is stupid. I'm not going to help you kill Queen. I mean, this is like, didn't you hear the message just now? And also, like if we defeated Queen, like, I'm sure Drake's an undercover operative, but I'm sure, like, a lot of the Toby Roppo don't really like the Calamities. But it's like, right now, we should be focusing on the Scabbards and the Rebellion. If we just defeat Queen, that's just going to weaken our own fighting force. Of course, Drake is doing this as a cover operative for Sword, so he's kind of like telling the enemy what he thinks they want to hear. So, Who's Who is just like, nah, it's cool, dude, let's go, come on, let's go. And he's like, all right, let's do this. So, yeah, they leave with Who's Who to go and defeat who? Who's Queen is who? Who? Alright. By the way, Who's Who's official color scheme is red. Yeah, we saw that in the recent, it's not out yet in Japan. I believe it's coming out on the 16th, along with One Piece Magazine Volume 10. Yeah, we're gonna get the next volume, and the tankobon cover it has all the Toby Roppo, and yeah, it turns out Who's Who's mask and his whole blazer, his suit, it's all red. So, it's an interesting design. It's just that a lot of people are kind of like, red? Really? That doesn't look like Who's Who's color, but okay, whatever, let's just roll with it. So, they all head out with Who's Who. Now we cut over on the live floor. We unfortunately don't get a lot of really great moments with the Straw Hats. We got that really cool group shot last time. Frankie going up against Big Mom and everything. Don't really get much of the Straw Hats. Instead, we have not the Scabbards, all the samurai and the Yakuza basically jumping in front of the Straw Hats and being like, don't worry, guys. You save your energy for Kaido. We'll take care of these guys. And they start charging the numbers. And the numbers, like, remember, Gyaki got knocked down last chapter by Frankie's Radical Beam, but we still got two other numbers there. We still got Goki number 5 and Juki number 10, and they're still stomping around. So the samurai are just like, man, these guys are huge. Stab their feet. They're needles! Man, if there was only some kind of, like, tendon that we could cut, some kind of Achilles-based tendon that would cause them to fall, you know? And honestly, even with that, even if they were aiming at the Achilles tendon or, like, the point on the, like, the ankle that, like, you know, like, drop them, like, they're so damn huge. Each one is about as big as ours, roughly. There's so much skin and muscle, it would be like trying to hack down a freaking giant tree with a katana. It would take a while to, like, break through the skin even, probably. So they just, it's kind of a funny scene, because they're going after these ores giants and just like, Meanwhile, Goki's probably up there like, ow. Someone poking me with needles. And so Goki takes out his giant mace and he just goes to, like, swing it. And you know this thing coming down would be enough to, like, just the wind pressure enough would, like, knock everybody over in the hall, probably knock down some support structures. But freaking, you know, Goki, he's just like, woo. And as he's doing the backswing, Zoro jumps up, takes out his sword, and then just slices the... Luffy, no! Okay, that one can't stand. That one we have to fix. There we go. There we go, Luffy. Okay, I actually did break some skin with that. It's cool, it's cool. Alright, so anyway, Zoro slices the mace midair, and then it starts to fall, and the mace itself is huge, right? Because it's wielded by a number. And then Jinbei just kind of he's like, well, this is dangerous. Get back, guys. He just takes his mighty fishman fist, and he just, like, boom, just grabs it. Just this giant mace probably weighs like 5 tons. Just the top of the mace probably weighs that much. It's solid iron. And he just, like, grabs it, just, like, tosses it aside. And so Goki has been essentially disarmed there. Juki is still raging. Juki doesn't have a weapon. Juki is just kind of, like, being scary, like, yeah! You know, like I'm a number. We also see a brief scene with the Oni Wabanshu fighting against the other members of the Yakuza. The only important thing to mention there is that Fuku Rokuju, the leader of the Oni Wabanshu, he just kind of, like, watches everything happen and just kind of like, yes, go and fight the Yakuza. I'm gonna go over here now. And he just leaves. And the only person that really notices him is the captain of the Mimawari Gumi, the Orochi samurai, now, you know, Kaido's samurai, Hote, I believe his name is. So Hote kind of turns and he's like, sees Fuku Rokuju walking away, and he's just kind of like, huh, where's he going, huh? And so Hote is probably going to follow him. Now, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're doing something. All right, so what do you think's going to happen? Do you think it's like Fuku Rokuju, like, might go and retrieve Orochi's head, or maybe the whole thing, like, Orochi might not really be dead, and Fuku Rokuju was just playing along with Kaido, and he's like, okay, I'll swear allegiance to you, Kaido, but, like, at the briefest moment I have to my own, I'm gonna go and try to find Orochi, because maybe his mythical zone allows him to live longer. It's still possible that could happen. We haven't addressed Orochi in, like, 5 chapters, but that doesn't mean it's not off the table yet. His body's still laying around here somewhere. Or it could be something else. It could be, like, you know, Fuku Rokuju is like, oh, Orochi's dead, and I kind of know where he keeps all of his shit. You know, I'm the one that kind of knows he has that secret vault back in the Flower Capital with all the money and all the extra stuff, all the cool shit that he gathered from Wano over the course of 20 years being a shogun. And it's like, this might be a good opportunity for me to, like, skip out, you know, get back to the mainland. If I can get back to the mainland, I can grab all that stuff. I might be able to become shogun next, or I might be able to, or I guess not that, because Kaido already said he's going to rule over everything. And I don't think Fuku Rokuju thinks that, like, Kaido's going to fall, because I think he's still very much, you know, like, oh, he's a dragon god, he's definitely going to win. So it might be a situation where Fuku Rokuju is just kind of throwing all the other ninjas and just away, and he's just like, you know what, I'm not dying for this shit. He's talking about turning Wano into like a pirate, you know, wonderland or whatever, like a war zone. Screw that. Okay, the fun times are over. I'm getting out of here. I'm booking. I'm going back to the mainland. I'm going back to the Flower Capital. I know where Orochi keeps all of his money. I'm taking everything, and I'm getting to the Moga Report. I'm getting the hell out of Wano. You know, like, I'm getting out of Wano while all this chaos is going on, right? It could be that, or he could be going after something else. Who knows? We'll stay tuned to see the further adventures of Fuku Rokuju and his mighty forehead. Okay. So, yeah, I'm kind of going out a little bit of sync here. It's like Fuku Rokuju leaves, and then Zoro slices the mace, Jinbei grabs it, and everything like that. Luffy has a really cool line now. Luffy starts charging toward the numbers, and he's just like, yeah, back during Thriller Bark, it took all of us. It took every single one of the Straw Hats working together to take down one ore-sized enemy. But now, things are different. Jumps into the air, goes, gear forth! You have Hyo down there that, you know, he mentions the resemblance to, like, the Nyo or the Myo, like the guardian deity statues for Buddhism. Like, in front of a Buddhist temple, you have, like, those really mean, like, guardians. You know, that's what Gear 4th Bound Man kind of represents there. And so he jumps up, goes Gear 4th, and he's like, Gamu Gamu no! And then we cut away for right now. And all the other Straw Hats are just kind of watching them. There's little scenes with each of them, like Usopp's freaking out, Brook is doing his yoo as Luffy jumps up to go just punch one of the numbers right in the face. And they're like, wait a second, Straw Hat! There's more than one of them! So, like, Luffy's gonna go punch Goki in the face, but one of the other ones, Juki, number 10, he kind of going after Luffy as well. So they're warning him that there's, like, more than one enemy that's gonna hit him. So we pause for a moment. At the same time this is going on, we cut back to an area kind of on the balcony, kind of a little bit around where Queen is, and we see Drake, and Drake has, like, the shit beat out of him. He's on the ground, he's bleeding, he's like, oh, crap. And it turned out it was all a setup. Queen's there with his sword out. Who's there. And who's looking at Diaz Drake, who's on the ground, right? This is going to be the joke I'm making. If you don't like it, too bad. We're going to keep making this joke until who's dead or Wano's over, whichever comes first, okay? But yeah, so Drake's on the ground. He got beat up by Who's Who and Queen. Hawkins is there too, but he's just kind of like a bystander. I can imagine Hawkins is just like walking down the hallway and, you know, Drake is like, oh, okay. Are you coming, Hawkins? I guess we're gonna go kill Queen. And Hawkins is like, yeah, I guess. And he just walks into the door, and Drake just starts getting like Who's Who and Queen just jump him at the same time and just beat the crap out of him, drop him on the ground, and Hawkins is just in the freaking doorway like, yep, you know? So, the reason why they're beating down Drake is they kind of know, they don't know he's a member of SWORD, but they know that he's working against Kaido's interests. He's not a member of the crew. He's like he's a spy, or he's a double agent for somebody or something, because they mention that, you're the one that helped out Law escape. So the shadowy figure we saw at the prison after, you know, like he freed Law and then Law beat up Hawkins, that was Drake that let him go. So I'm thinking how that probably would have went is that, let's say, like Hawkins was interrogating Law in the prison town. Remember that? Okay. Maybe Hawkins walked out for a moment to get some coffee or something. Drake snuck in, like, you know, uncuffed Law so he was free. Drake left. And then Hawkins walks back in to continue the interrogation. That's when Law's like, room, shambles, and then boom, boom. So Law beats the crap out of Hawkins, drops him. And then that's when Law leaves the cell. Hawkins is unconscious, and Drake steps out of the shadows, and he's just standing there. And Law's like, I have no idea why you helped me, but I really don't care. You know, you probably have your own reasons for helping me, but I really don't care at this point. I have to do other stuff. So then Law left. And Drake probably, like, woke up Hawkins in the cell, like, hey, Hawkins, wake up, man. Hawkins is like, what happened? He's like, Law escaped. Oh, man, he beat the crap out of you. It's okay. The fire festival's happening soon. We'll get to Onigashima. That's probably how Drake spun it. You know, made it look like, oh, Law escaped. We didn't see that coming, right? But Hawkins, I think because of his tarot and other reasons, he's like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. You're the only one that could have freed him. It doesn't make sense that he just got freed all of a sudden. So you were there already. Why were you in prison town? So, you know, Hawkins told the information, and Queen's like, the one that Queen wanted to kill, that's revealed to be Drake. And Who's Who, I mean, Who's Who probably still wants to kill Queen, probably, but right now he's like, let's take care of Drake first. And so he's like, I can't believe it, dude. I can't believe you went against us. I can't believe you managed to make it to this high rank, brah. It's crazy. And so, anyway, Drake's on the ground, and they're like, you know, who do you work for? And Drake's like, I'm not telling you. So to the end of the day, Drake is just like, sorry to say, but you're gonna have to kill me first, because I'm not gonna tell you dick about who I work for or anything about that. And so he's kind of thinking, he's like, oh shit, oh crap, what am I gonna do? He's like, there's literally nothing I can say. I cannot get out of this with words. They're not gonna believe anything I say. So it's like, I work for the Keebler Elves. Bam! Alright, I'm sorry. I don't work for the Keebler Elves. I actually work for Santa's elves. Bam! Alright, I'm sorry. Jeez, I'll tell you who I really work for. I work for Sam Peckett. But then it is like, he just keeps doing that. There's nothing he could say. So, there's an explosion that happens in the room. I'm kind of... is this an explosion that Drake caused? Like, Drake took something out of his cloak and just, like, smoke bomb! Or I think it might be an explosion happening from out of the hallway, like from the fighting, an explosion, and then Drake was able to take advantage of the cover and escape. Either way, Drake jumps into the festival hall, so he's way high up, jumps off, and he's thinking to himself, he's like, okay, crap, what do I do? Do I go back to the Marines? Do I go back and retreat? No, I can't do that yet because I still have a job to do here. Like, this is literally like years and years and years of deep cover as a sword agent that Drake has, trying to infiltrate Kaido's crew to take down Kaido or wipe out the Calamities or like weaken their power or something. He can't just give up. He can't just give up now when he's so close. So he's like, no, I can't go back to the Marines. And he has a memory, he flashes back to when Kobe, during their conversations, because Kobe's also a member of Sword, when Kobe was telling him all about Luffy. Like, oh, you could always trust Luffy, he's awesome. And so Drake has a moment where he's like, he just happens to see Luffy as he's jumping off, about to punch one of the numbers, and Drake's like, all right, I know what I gotta do. Takes out both of his weapons and he does Excalibur! Bam! Most epic name for an attack! Yeah, that's why I also call him X-Drake. I know it's read as Diaz, but the attack is not Diaz-Caliber, it's Excalibur. So, yeah, I'm just gonna keep calling him X-Drake, probably. By the way, that is probably the name that Hawkins was reading about, like, 1% chance that man has to survive. And then Drake is like, oh man, wouldn't be that guy. And Hawkins is like, why do you think I didn't say his name? Because Hawkins knows who it is. He knows who he's doing the tarot card reading for. So he's like, he didn't tell him the name because it's Drake. That's why he kept it a secret. So, yeah, it's probably Drake that Hawkins was doing the tarot reading for. But yeah, so just at the same time, Luffy goes gear forth, Kong gun, bam, knocks out Goki. Drake jumps down, does Excalibur right on Juki's head, knocks him down too. Both of the numbers fall, and Drake, while still in the midair, while Luffy's still like bouncing with Bound Man, is like, Straw Hat, I don't have time to explain, and you really don't know who I am, but I'm a lone force here. I'm an army of one. I want to join you. Will you have me? Keep in mind, like, Luffy probably maybe sort of might remember Drake, you know, just vaguely from conversation or maybe in the newspaper on, like, the one occasion that Luffy's looked at the damn newspaper or somebody has mentioned him, but Luffy has never had, like, a direct meeting with Drake. I don't think he has. No, not really. He's been mentioned before. Oh! Do you know what I'm going to say? Do you want to guess? Take a guess below. I want to see if anyone guesses it. When Luffy first arrived at Wano and met Tama and Hitetsu, Tenguyama Hitetsu, he told Luffy that the reason Amagasa Village was ravaged and destroyed was because one of the Flying Six, one of the headliners, destroyed it. And he mentions it was Drake. Hitetsu said it was Drake that destroyed it. So Luffy might not know what he looks like. Sanji does, because he fought him, or he fought Page 1 when Drake was there. But Luffy might not know what Drake looks like, but he knows the name Drake as the one that completely ruined Tama's village. So Drake has to he's like on a tightrope right now. He's got to be careful how he does this, because if he says, my name is Diaz Drake, I'm here to join your cause, Luffy might be like, okay, I guess. Wait a second, Drake? Oh, I should punch you. You know, now, this is a serious moment here, so maybe he could be like, yeah, I'm sorry I did that, I'll repent, I'll apologize, and he's like, you damn well better. We'll see where that goes, but, yeah. I find it funny that Kobe was talking to Drake about Luffy. I just find it like, because you keep in mind, Drake's probably he's only able to contact, like, outside of Wano on very rare occasions, because he's a secret agent. He can't just do it all the time. So, his point of contact for probably the last few months, if not years, has been Kobe. You have to imagine every time he calls Kobe to give a report on what's going on in Kaido's crew, Kobe just starts fanboying, like, out of nowhere about Luffy. Like, oh, by the way, Drake, oh my god, Luffy is so damn cool. You should see what he just did at Dressrosa. Man, he's so awesome. If you ever run into Luffy, you can trust that guy. He's so cool. You can always trust him. Drake's just like, yeah, Kobe, Kobe. Luffy is so damn cool. One time he punched me in the stomach. Yeah, Kobe, that's great. Kobe, I'm trying to relay a damn report on a secret government operation here. Dude. And he's like, shut up about Luffy. And now it's this one instant where he's like, whoa, there's Luffy. Apparently I can trust him. Okay. So I find it funny. I think that's how that went. But okay. That's the end of the chapter. There is unfortunately a break next week. I should mention that. There is a break next week. Next week is actually when Roger is hopefully to do the Reverie. So that'll be coming up too next Sunday. But also, I believe there's going to be an early release of Shonen Jump this week. So no One Piece this week. But I think the official release is coming out on the 18th, which is I think this Friday. So it's only 5 days from now. We're going to get like a new Dr. Stone, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, but no One Piece. Okay, so just, keep that in mind. So I think at the moment, like, this is a very, like, out of nowhere, like, Luffy just punches a giant, and then there's this random dude that's just like, Luffy, you don't know me, but I want to help you. And Luffy's like, okay, I guess we need all the help we can get. Sure, just don't double-cross us and we'll be good. It's okay. I only double-cross people occasionally. I'm working for the Marines, so technically. Okay, so this is all right, so let's do this really quick here, okay? So Drake's dad, Diaz Barrels, was a Marine that became a pirate, raised Drake, and then Drake left to become a Marine, and then secretly left to become a member of SWORD, which meant that he had to go undercover as a pirate, and then a supernova, and then joined one of the Yonko's crews, and now he's being found out by said Yonko, being kicked out of the crew, and now asking to join Luffy's cause, which is working with the samurai of Wano, and he's also a pirate, one of the supernovas, and a fifth emperor, but he's also still secretly working for the Marines. Yes. The Drake's thing is, I made that more complicated than it really is. Drake is a Marine through and through, but still, I mean, yeah. Alright, well anyway, really love the chapter. It was good at setting some stuff up. We didn't get really a cool scene with, like, we didn't see Neko and Inu and Sulong, so I'm like, oh, that would have been cool if we got to see them. Kaido and the Scabbards aren't really fighting, so King was cool. We got to see some more Who's Who moments. That was nice. And Drake, this was more of a Drake chapter, I guess, which is cool. It's finally time we touched upon what Drake was going to do this entire time. So more or less just a setup chapter, getting up some more stuff. We didn't get to see the Straw Hats really go full ham on everybody in the crowd, but the numbers got knocked down, so we'll see. In terms of the numbers, we still have 1, 2, 3, 6, and 9. That I think we might have seen 9 in silhouette. We've definitely seen a lot of these guys in silhouette before, but I think we heard 9's laughter style once, like Q, 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 Q is 9. So that means there's still 5 members of the numbers we haven't seen, because we saw 4, 5, 7, and 8. 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10. Yeah, so there was 5 that we saw so far, so we have another half of the numbers. Like I said, I made a video on the numbers a while back. I didn't feel like the numbers were going to be like a serious threat. I think honestly the numbers were going to be there just to kind of slow down the main force of the rebellion, and also to prove how stronger the Straw Hats have gotten. And I kind of even saw this scene happening where Luffy was just going to, like, BAM! Punch down one of the numbers. Kid just punches down one of the numbers, just to show that Luffy is now strong enough to KO Oars in one hit. Kid would probably also be able to. Zoro would also probably be able to. Law, same thing, So the numbers are really kind of here just to show fodder. Just like, these are characters that are now at Oars level or higher in the story. So don't really expect too much more from the numbers in terms of their personality or their battles. I'm way more interested in their past and how they were created and everything, and did a whole video about that last week. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Teching and Barry signing out. Hey-oh!